back to my channel. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. Today we're going to be going over one of the new Dior Quints. This is number 599 New Look, and this silver bar down here, it does press in so that you can lift the palette. You have a full-size mirror. It does come with 2 utensils, and these are the shades. This palette is made in France. It's 7 grams, and it has an approximate shelf life of 6 months. These are the top 3 colors, and these are the bottom 2 colors. Now, I do have a few reviews up on a few other shades of these palettes, and just like those, the quality is consistent with the new formula. We do have these beautiful shades here. This deepest one here is a matte shade. We have the second one is more of a sparkly topper, but you can see that it's a deep enough color that you can actually have color on the lid. So you could use this as a light one and done shade even if you just want some light sparkle, and it will still give you like a little bit of that champagne gold finish. You can see how well this top shade here catches the light. This is a true satin finish. And these 2 here are more of a satin matte finish, so they don't have quite as much shine as the top shade, but they are not going to be as matte as this deepest shade either. There is a little bit of a sheen to both of these, but it's a soft sheen. Looking at the actual colors in this palette, we have a deeper set of neutrals. So this shade here, it's gonna lean kind of cool, but it's about a medium brown, and you can see it leans a little cool, but it's pretty much neutral on the spectrum. And then our topper shade is going to be a light champagne gold, and again we've got all of this sparkle. This shade here in the middle is the burgundy, and it's a satin matte, and you can see that this one has a little bit more of a brown base to it. And again, that one's gonna be pretty much in the middle there as well. And this one here leans slightly warm. So where this one leans a little cool, this one leans a little warm. And this is gonna be a softer, more medium brown. And you can see that it's this beautiful like teddy bear brown color. And then we have this really deep shade here that looks almost black, but it's really just a super deep black brown shade. So it's not a true black. It's definitely one of those like black brown shades that you would potentially see like in an eyeliner and so forth. I'm gonna go ahead and show you a couple of looks that I created using this palette, and then we're gonna meet back here and I'll go over my thoughts. We are going to go into the Dior New Look palette. This is number 599. And we're using the Blender Pro from Sonia G. I'm gonna go into the very first shade here. I do not have any primer or anything on right now. Wow, that's a beautiful shade. Just leave it like that. I will blend that out better later. Taking the Sonia G soft shader into this color here. And now I'm going into the center shade with the same brush. I did wipe it off. Cleaned off the Blender Pro, and I'm just going to blend this area. Taking the smudger one into this second shade. So I'm putting it more on the side so I can use this in the inner corner. Just gonna tap a little bit of this shade right in the center. This is a topper shade. For the lower lash line, I'm going into this first shade here. And this is the Rephr 03 brush. I'm switching to this third shade, And I'm gonna blend those two together. For the upper lash line, I'm going into the deepest shade. I wiped off the smudger one and it's clean, no more shadow, and just going to smudge the lower lash line. And this is the final look up close. I'll show you a finished shot when I'm done. This is the final look from a distance. I added the Jones Road mascara, and then for my face, I was gonna keep things really light, and then I changed that sort of with the lipstick. But I had the Chantecaille Just Skin in Alabaster, the peach blush from the Burberry Medium Essential Glows palette, or Essential Glow palette. And then on my lips, I have the Chanel lip liner in Brun Carmen, number 188. And I have the Rouge Allure Ink Fusion from the fall collection in number 836 Idyllique. And that's everything. I have the NARS eye primer on, and I'm taking the Sonuji Classic Crease into this brown shade here. Now I'm going in with this lighter shade here, the same brush, and I'm just going more towards the upper portion of the crease and blending this in and going all the way down to the socket. So just kind of buffing things out a little bit. I'm taking the Chikahodu KZ06 and I'm going to take a dab in the burgundy here. And just a very light dab right there. I wiped the brush off and now I'm going into this lightest shade again. And I applied more. I'm going over the burgundy and over the entire lid. Now that I have kind of like a shimmery base, I'm gonna go into this shade here very lightly again with this brush, and I'm tapping on top. Let's get a little bit more. So going over the base really just kind of diluted it a little bit and made it a little bit lighter and shimmery, because that shade's actually a little bit darker than I originally thought it was. And it just adds a little bit more shimmer. I'm taking the KZ08 into the burgundy. I'm going to put this lightly right along the upper lash line. And this is a very soft, flexible brush, so it's giving me a soft, thick line. So I wiped off the brush and I'm just feathering out the edges, the upper edges. So now essentially I just have a little extra dimension there. For the lower lash line, I'm again taking the KZ08. I'm gonna go into this shade here, and I'm gonna put this on the outer half only, or I guess outer third. Then I wiped off the brush and I am just going to spread this shade underneath the rest of the lash line. For the inner corner highlight, I'm going in with the Chanel Duo de Camellia, and I'm going right in the center here with the KZ08. Just gonna add this right here to the inner corner. Just wanted something a little bit brighter. I'm gonna finish off the upper lash line with the Victoria Beckham Eye Kaujal in Cocoa. And then I'm gonna add some mascara and I'll see you in a minute. And this is my final look. I hope those looks were helpful. Let's go ahead and do a few comparison swatches. Now, to be honest, I don't have too much in my collection with colors quite like this. For so long, they've been making like much warmer tone browns and so forth, and these really are more neutral and they lean cooler than what has been on the marketplace recently. So I don't have a lot of shades similar to this in my collection. This here is the La Chrome Luxe Duo from Chantecaille, and this is the shade Tibet. So we're gonna swatch these. So we got the darker and the lighter. And you can see that this is gonna be like a warmer tone version of this top shade. It's almost a cross between shade 1 and 4 in the Dior palette. And you can see that the lighter shade in Tibet really doesn't match with anything here. Then we're gonna swatch, this is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. This one here that says outer eyelid. I'm gonna swatch this one and this one here, which is also outer eyelid. So here are these two. All right, and this is a better match for the first shade, but again, it's still going to have a little bit more red in it. And this is the one from the bottom row. From the top row here, we can see that this one has more of a sheen to it. Doesn't really go though with anything from the New Look. And then here, this is the Viseart Theory palette in Cashmere. So we're gonna swatch these three here. So here are these three. So you can see that the deep matte shade in the Cashmere palette is gonna be a lot more brown than the one in New Look, which has much more black in it. And New Look is also gonna be deeper. And then the lightest shade, this is the one in the middle on the Cashmere palette. It's a slightly warmer version of the topper shade, but it's opaque. So this one is not a topper. And then we have this shade here, which is the third shimmer shade in the Cashmere palette. And you can see it has much more gray undertones. It's a little bit cooler tone than anything in New Look. This is one of my favorite shades. And then let's swatch Soft Cashmere from Dior. These are the top three and bottom two. You can see that Soft Cashmere overall is a lighter palette. The only one that is kind of similar is this fourth shade here. So let's go ahead and we'll swatch that one again right here next to New Look. So you can see that it's gonna be a little bit warmer than the top shade in New Look. And let me just make that a little bit longer here. And you can see it's cooler tone than the fourth shade in New Look. So overall, Soft Cashmere is going to be a little bit lighter and a little bit more of a softer brown tone instead. The undertones are going to be more neutral. Now, as for my thoughts on this Quint, I think it is a gorgeous Quint. It's fantastic for getting a deep brown smoky eye. I really like how you've got like a cooler tone and warmer tone browns mixed in there. You've got some reddish undertones, you've got some blackish undertones. So all of those different shades really work well to create a smokier look. I also really appreciate how the topper isn't really a true topper shade. It's not completely sheer, so there is pigment. So it's kind of nice sometimes to just kind of smoke out one of the deeper shades a little bit and then apply the topper all over, and you have like a light look with a little bit of dimension. So I find that to be very versatile. But overall, with this palette on my coloring, they are a little dark for me to use for a lighter look unless I'm using a lot of that particular shade. And that's not a bad thing. It's definitely a palette I like. For me, it's just a little bit more of a nighttime palette, and that's when I would gravitate towards it. And I think it's gorgeous. The shades in particular, the quality, it's all there. I love the quality of these. They last really well. Everything blends smoothly. Fallout really isn't an issue, and it's just a gorgeous formula. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas now, and this one does not disappoint. In summation, I think this is a fantastic palette to have, and I'm really glad that I picked this one up. It definitely does not disappoint, and I love the sheen that you get with all of these shades. I just think it is gorgeous and sophisticated, and yet it's very soft at the same time, which is hard to accomplish. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.